up? It's Claude Johnson. How's it going? I'd like to continue in this series of looking at ways that we can add single notes with our chords. And if you remember, we looked at two different methods already, bass note runs and picking patterns. And in today's lesson, I'd like to just look at adding melodies to chords. Alright? So let's get right into it. Go! Okay, so remember our progression goes like this. G, A minor, C, D. Now let's add a melody on top of that. Alright, so when I'm talking about adding a melody, I'm not talking about, improvising a melody, which would be a lot more advanced. We'll get into that too at another time. But I'm talking about like a melody that you kind of compose ahead of time and then we'll arrange it to go with our chords. So, you can come up with this melody any number of ways. You could, play some leads over a backing track and see what comes out of that. Or you could just like hum it. If I was playing, and I honestly don't remember how I came up with this example melody. Basically it goes like this. But I definitely came up with it with the chords. So for example, if I was just humming, okay, so once I had that kind of like an idea in my head, I want to work out what are the notes on the fretboard. So G, B, A, G, F sharp, E, and then the same thing, G, B, A, F sharp, G, B, A, G, F sharp, D. So what I'm doing is just translating that idea that I had in my head onto the notes. Now once I have that down, I can start arranging, okay? And what I want to do is just look, let's just, the first chord is G, and the first notes are, so I can play that down an octave here. The first two notes, G and B, they're already in the chord. Just those open strings. A, open G string. And it's very easy to play that with the G chord. Now the next note is F sharp. There's no easy way to get that open, so I kind of have to go up here to the 4th fret. And kind of get out of that left-hand position with the chord. So the first notes, and then slide down to the E. Now this next chord, notice that the melody happens to be playing that E on like the downbeat of the A minor. So, but what I'm doing is just playing the note and then the chord. So like the second half of that bar gets the chord to emphasize the melody note. Now it'd be a different story if I could play that E in the chord, maybe like this. So just for example, but that's a very low voicing, it doesn't sound very good, right? You could try something like that, but for what I'm doing here, it just sounds good just to hit that note by itself and follow it up with the strum. Then I go to the C chord. Again, open G. Now I have to lift off here because the B is not in the chord, so I have to lift off my first finger, which temporarily gives me a G major set or C major set, but I'm not thinking about it that way. And then I hit the open D. And again, I'm just hitting the note first and then strumming the chord, because if I did it that way, well, you could do it that way too. The bottom line is you need to write your own arrangement and figure out what sounds good to you, and just trust your ear, you know. Okay, now you can also try it in different places, different octaves, and you'll figure out a lot of stuff. So for example, if I was just going to use the bar chords, so G, A minor, and I'm just going up to that B string, not all the way up here. Just stop right there, right? And here is very nice. You can go into the D bar chord on the 5th string, on the A string. Okay? If you're not familiar with basic bar chords, check out my beginner course. I go over all that stuff. Okay, another thing you could do would be like this one, G up here. Whoop. You could try different voicings. And I go over these voicings in my other course, Killer Guitar Control Secrets, so you always want to know those. Those are very good. Okay, so A minor here, C. So try around with, play around with different voicings, and try your favorite chord progression, come up with a melody, and just write an arrangement and practice it. I mean, it seems simple, and it can be frustrating that it's hard to come up with a cool arrangement. So, pay attention to what sounds good, where you're landing on the chord or the melody note, and what's practical in terms of does your hand have to jump a lot, or is the note right there in the chord? So you always want to try to create something that's easy technically. I mean, this is a very easy one because again, the notes are right there. This is definitely a little bit harder. You got to jump up here. Okay, so have fun with that, and we'll talk about more ways next time to combine single notes with chords. So there you have it, another cool thing for you to explore the guitar. So have fun, and I'll catch you next time.